What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Jake Shavink here, and with just one day until the 2023 NFL Draft is set to kick off, at least at the time of this recording, we're going to take a look at some potential pairings for the Green Bay Packers at the tight end position. Now, General Manager Brian Koontz has talked about the depth that this position has in the 2023 NFL Draft, and usually when he talks about that and then combined with where the room currently sits with Tyler Davis and Josiah DeGuara, it might be time for a double dip. It probably is time for a double dip. It might even be a triple dip at the position if you include undrafted free agents. So don't be surprised if a lot of capital goes that way. And we're going to look at potential pairings here just in terms of fun pairings, some practical pairings, some prospects who are kind of foils of each other that would mesh well in the offense. And then we'll take a look at a couple predictions at the end and talk a lot about these prospects. So let's dive into the first one here. We're going to look at a safe floor plus a late upside in Michael Mayer in the first round, whether it be at pick 13 or via a trade back, and then Josh Wiley in round 5 or 6 as the late upside play. Now, Michael Mayer, 6'4.5", 249, 7.66 RAS, and a 4.7 40. Josh Wiley at 6'6.5", 248, 8.98 RAS, and a 4.69 40. Now, you're thinking those numbers kind of mesh, and they feel like the same player. I think they're pretty much foils, and I do think both offer you something in line, but Wiley's going to be the primary pass-catching target, and Michael Mayer is going to be the guy who does it all. So for Mayer, he's going to be Jordan Love's best friend. He's going to attack the middle of the field and win over the middle of the field a ton. When it comes to Mayer as a prospect, I think a lot of the talking points have been made, but to me, what he is the consummate chain mover and versatile tight end. He's going to be able to play inline. He got vastly better at it in 2022 relative to 2021. And when he can flex out wide, he can be in the slot, he can do it all at the position. As a route runner, short area quicks, whether it be attacking leverage or at the top of his route, he's going to do that as a route runner to get open. And when he's not always open, he is always open because he elevates really well at the catch point. He does a great job walling off defenders, turning his body away from where the ball's coming from, knowing where defenders are when he's in zone, right? He's always giving himself the opportunity to win 70-30 or 80-20, right? By creating and contorting his body to give himself the most favorable outcome in terms of what happens at the catch point. So that's what Mayer's going to deliver you. And while, the upside isn't like overly tremendous, right? You're not getting, this high-end athlete at the position. You're still getting reliability and versatility at the position, which is very important. And Mayer, maybe he has suffered a little bit from, being the guy all the way in last summer, and we've just nitpicked him to no end. But I do think Mayer would be really solid and an instant impact player in Green Bay. Then you look at Josh Wiley, who does his best in line as a blocker. He's often attached as a wing, but really where he's going to make his hay is, being fluid in space, running straight in line. Like he's going to be able to run these drags. He's going to get up the field, up the seam. And he has the ability to elevate as well and be more of the box out or just jump over everybody at the catch point. So you're getting a little bit more receiver with Wiley and maybe a little bit more of the sort of reliability and versatility with Mayer. So that's a fun pairing. Let's look at the next pairing here. It's pass catcher early and blocker late. So a little bit different than the first one. And what here you're looking at is Dalton Kincaid in the first round, whether it be at, again, 13 or trade back. And then you're looking at Kraft and Strange from Penn State in round 5 or 6 as well. So Dalton Kincaid quick, 6'5 and 3/8, 246. No testing done for him due to the back injury. Kraft and Strange is 6'3 and 7/8, 253, a 909 RAS, 90th percentile, ran a 4.7, 36-inch vert, which is pretty darn good, and then 23 reps on the bench. Really strong player. And these two mesh perfectly. Okay, you get Dalton Kincaid. He is the consummate receiving tight end that you could possibly want in this class and really just for your offense in general, right? Dalton Kincaid is going to be the guy who has the rare quicks at the position in terms of his route running, in terms of getting open. And what really those rare quicks offer him is the ability to take advantage of things post-catch in terms of making defenders miss, but also making that little late adjustment in his route to give himself more space, give his quarterback a bigger window at the catch point. So those rare quicks come in handy with the route running and whatnot. He has great body control, great hands at the catch point, very limited drops in his career. And with that breakout season, what else you saw is him start forcing more missed tackles. So Dalton Kincaid, with contact balance, creativity, he just kind of found a way to win post catch. So him winning in all three phases like that at a really strong, profile for him in terms of translating to the next level as a receiver. So Kincaid offers you that. That's a best friend, 3rd and 5, 3rd and 7. Where's my guy? I got to find him, and he'll make it happen for you, even if you throw it short of the sticks. Now, Brenton Strange doesn't offer you much as a pass catcher other than reliability and a big body over the middle, right? And that's okay, right? He's not the most flexible or fluid, laterally. Doesn't have that elite agility, really. But what he has is the ability to stick in line and just dominate. Be able to roll his hips through contact, drive defenders, right? He is part of backside blocks and split zone, right? He's taking on defensive ends. He's working to the second level on linebackers. He is a phenomenal blocker at the position. You can kick him in, play him in line, give yourself some favorable looks in the run game, and also be sitting in like quote unquote 11 and a half personnel, as I'm going to call it, where you're technically in 12 with Kincaid out there and Strange, but Kincaid's also a receiver, so you're also in 11. It gives you that flexibility if you have both guys on the field at once. And I think it's one of my potentially favorite pairings just because the foils match up so well between these two. Let's move to the next one here. We're just going to call this upside. And this was in my mock draft on Tuesday for the Packers. You saw it. If you didn't see it, it was kind of mixed reviews, but Darnell Washington in the 1st or 2nd round, and then Zach Koontz in the 3rd or 4th round. Now, when you look at these two, Darnell Washington, 6'6" and 5'8", 264 pounds, 98th percentile athlete, 988 RAS, 4.64 in the 40 blazing time for him, and a 4.08 in the short shuttle, which is insane for him as well. Zach Koontz, on the other hand, 6'7" and 3/8. Gosh, it's the all-size team, 255. The perfect relative athletic score. He is number 1 now, 100th percentile, 4.55 40, 4.12 short shuttle, and a 40-inch vertical. So the crazy athletes at the position, right, between these two. Darnell Washington gives you the floor of a blocker, right? Force multiplier in the run game. He gives you all of that as a player, which is very exciting, right? Powerful player at the point of attack. And he can handle guys one-on-one in pass protection as well when it comes to SEC edge rushers. He handled Gervon Dexter as well. Like, he has all of that in the bag with him. And with that as well, he's generating explosive plays. Usually there's like a cutoff. If you're averaging, over a baker's dozen per reception, that's great and very indicative of future success. Washington falls under that, just over 17 yards per reception, and he's doing it on a low ADOT, right? He's doing it with, plays after the catch, his toughness, his contact balance, just the impossibility of bringing him down with one defender. So he offers you that. He offers you a red zone threat immediately with the upside athletically to become a dominant force. Now, Zach Koontz offers you kind of the same thing. He's got some floor as a receiver, right? He's quick twitch, quick lateral mover, top of route manipulation type of player, and has some nuance to his route running in terms of leverage stepping, right? He understands that. He understands how to work to space. He can also sky up and win the football. So you're getting two big dudes with untapped athleticism combined in a room. Now, I think the drawback to this a little bit is people will say, well, this is really raw and inexperienced, right? This will take a lot more time to have both of these guys rather than some of the guys who give you the higher floor. And that's true. But if both of these guys hit and you are in 12 personnel like this, boy, you are absolutely cooking. You're getting an Ertz and Goddard type of thing that Philly had for some time, which is just dangerous, especially as the cycle is sort of tilting back toward running the football, 12 personnel, as these boxes get, diminished and as defenders are way back, right, expecting explosive plays, run the ball, activate these two in the passing game, and my goodness, we're cooking. And I know that, like I said, acting for Jordan Love here, it's not always the best plan potentially with these two, but I really like the kind of combination and upside that this pairing offers you. Move on to the next one here, explosive plays only, almost unhinged, we might say, because I think these two would be selected in very similar spots. This might be 42 and 45, right? Darnell Washington and Luke Musgrave. Now, I mentioned explosive plays, right? Darnell Washington averaging over 17 yards per catch. Luke Musgrave also falls in that category of big play threat, right? Only caught 11 passes for 169 in 2022, but that was enough to generate a high explosive pass rate, and he's the guy who's going to threaten you down the seam. So Musgrave, quick numbers for him, 6'5" and 7/8, 253 pounds, 9.78 RAS, so almost a 98th percentile athlete in the 4.61 in the 40-yard dash. He's height, weight, speed. He isn't quite the blocker, although he has good positioning, low hips, working low to high as a blocker, so there's something to potentially tap into there. But what you're getting immediately is Washington in line and Musgrave, kind of in the slot as your seam stretcher. And, with Washington's upside that we already mentioned, this is really unhinged. These two, if they hit their ceilings, are potentially tight end 1 and 2 in this class. Now, some people don't like Musgrave as much, and I understand that, right? He is very straight line at the moment. He's going to win above the rim, but, when it comes to, maybe some flexibility and some lateral agility, he doesn't always quite have it. There are flashes of it, though. So with these two, you're getting two big targets for Jordan Love. One's an explosive player with a high ADOT winning down the field. The other is a low ADOT yak guy who also can win down the field, but has predominantly done so with the short passing game and creating after the catch. So these two pairing together, yikes. I mean, this is the other type of thing where it might even be above an Ertz Goddard pairing. This could be very Gronk Hernandez-like. If the sliders are turned up to 100, as long as, you don't get carried away with that comp that I just threw out there. But let's move on to another one here. This is, I would say, my favorite possible outcome. And I'll really get into why here. But Sam LaPorta in the second round with 42 or 45, and then Tucker Kraft in the third round at pick 78, or via a trade up if they need to do so. So the numbers quick for these guys. Sam LaPorta, 6'3" and a quarter, 245, 901 RAS. Right, you're getting a 4.59 40. Really nice time there. 6'9", 1.3 cone. He is slippery. He is efficient and very quick. And then the 1.55 split is really tremendous. Tucker Kraft, 6'4" and 3/4, 254 pounds, 4.69 40. Big number for him, 23 reps on the bench. So with these two, LaPorta, obviously, it's sub 250, is the pass catcher, right? He is a slippery pass catcher, gets open in a variety of ways. He can run the route tree. I'm impressed with, how efficient the route breaks are and how he uses his hands, uses, that strength, that physicality to create some separation for himself as well. He is also a seam stretcher where he can win up the seam. He's got some straight line speed to him where he's going to be able to at least threaten, the slot corner or the hybrid safety or the hybrid linebacker up the seam. Going to be tough to handle him no matter what. And he offers you some after the catch escapability and slipperiness as well, along with toughness to carry some defenders. He has done that. So he gives you that type of player, but you've seen him work also low to high. Can he sustain blocks in line? Maybe. But at the very least, you're getting a strong pass catcher. Now, Tucker Kraft, you could argue, is the same thing, right? He is a really good pass catcher, former running back turned tight end. He is extremely, extremely elusive, controlled and balanced when he's trying to make defenders miss and succeeding in doing so. His production was really good in 2021, over 700 yards and 6 touchdowns. And he got hurt, unfortunately, in 2022, so we didn't get to see those numbers go up. But for him, he plays nasty as a blocker and he likes to finish. Those 23 bench reps are very indicative of the power he has. It's just honing in technique right at the position. So can he be the inline guy? Yes, he can, but he can also command a heavy dose of targets. Imagine these two guys with how slippery, how quick, how efficient break these guys are. Great routes. One's more maybe smooth in terms of craft, in terms of kind of generating some curvilinear speed on more speed turning routes, where you have LaPorta then generating some efficient route breaks. Those two in a combination, those two are going to be tough to handle together when they're out running routes in the same concept. And it really fascinates me to see Kraft potentially unlock what he can do as a blocker and be a true versatile inline plus flex out wide threat at the position. And that's why I'm really high on him, and I'm really high on both of these guys. And I would not hesitate if I could get both of them in a room where I need it heavily, and that's Green Bay for it right now. So love that pairing so much. Okay, let's talk extremely plausible pairing here. I really like this because there's contrasting styles, but there is that ability for both to become the multifaceted players that they are. So Tucker Kraft in round 2 or 3, And then Luke Schoonmaker in round 3 or 4. So we'll talk about Schoonmaker really quick. 6'5" and a quarter, 251, 986 RAS in that 98th percentile, 4.63 40, and then a 6.8 3 cone. That is insanely good, right? LaPorta's was insanely good at 6.91, and he's a tenth of a second faster. So two tremendous athletes, like we said, at the position. And so Kraft is the guy who's going to command targets immediately, early, right? He'll be the flex out guy, right? He'll be running the smooth routes. He'll be running the deep crossers, the bender routes, the deep digs, right? He'll clear some guys out potentially with some seam routes and get him the ball quickly, let him win after the catch, which he definitely can do. And then you have Schoonmaker, who has some untapped potential as a receiver as well, but is immediately, like Brenton Strange, who we mentioned earlier, go in line immediately, right? Dominate as a blocker and really be that second and a half tackle. He isn't obviously quite as big as somebody like Darnell Washington, but he's as effective as somebody like Brenton Strange. So Schoonmaker, I really like him, and he's a smooth, fluid route runner as well. You get these guys running deep crossers, right, and getting them in space to make some plays. They're going to really thrive. And I think these two in a combination would be really nice for Green Bay. You maybe don't have to go absolutely nuts with the capital. It's very possible that round 3 and 4 is the absolute floor, the potential of getting both of them. And that's something I think Green Bay will potentially consider on day 2 and day 3. Now, let's get to some predictions here. The first prediction for you guys is obviously it's going to be contrasting styles, right? We're not going to go 2 receiving options that are under 250 pounds. We're going to make sure we get contrasting styles, some foils at the position. But here's prediction number 1. Green Bay trades back in the first and lands Dalton Kincaid. And then Green Bay in either round 3 or 4 lands Luke Schoonmaker, right? So we've talked about these two already in that Kincaid is the receiving option, the QB best friend, the rare quicks, the yak ability, the catch point ability. It's all there. And then Schoonmaker gives you some untapped upside as a receiver, but he's in line immediately. I like this pairing. If the Packers are going to go tight end early, that's fine. Let it be Kincaid in the trade back, right, with a little more flash as a receiver, a little more upside in that game, and then you get a great blocker in Schoonmaker later. Prediction number 2 is a kind of a wild one, I think. Darnell Washington in round 1 or 2, probably leaning 2, maybe via a trade up, right? Maybe it's packaging 42 and 78 to move up to get Washington either in the late 20s, early 30s, right, of round 1, or a little bit into day 2, right? Moving up maybe 9, 10 picks for him. And then it's Josh Wiley in round 5 or 6, right? This is exactly what contrasting styles can look like, right? Washington comes in as a blocker immediately, attach him in line, and run Wiley wild over the middle of the field up the seam, right? Let the contrasting styles work. Let Washington develop as a receiver, and you might be really cooking with 2 impressive players in this draft. So there you have it. 8 potential pairings, 2 predictions for you guys. Let me know who you would like to see the Packers draft at tight end. Maybe give me your ideal pairing at the position. But hope you guys enjoyed this video because this was a fun one to put together, and I'm really excited to see what the Packers could do at the tight end position once the draft unfolds. So leave a like down there, subscribe if you're new. Obviously, during the draft, we're going to have a lot, right? Live show on Thursday, potential multi-stream show on Friday. We'll see how that goes. And then obviously a lot of reaction to the Packers selections. There's going to be film rooms, all of that stuff. So stay tuned, stay locked into the channel. Make sure that notification bell is on so you get all those notifications for new videos. So again, hope you guys enjoyed. I will see you guys in the next video. Farewell.